Okay, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. We're going to be talking about effective communication. I feel like it's important because that is what will keep relationships. For people that are watching, we're all from different parts of the area of the world, and we've come together to talk about this because we realize how important it is. If I can just ask Aaron first, um, what does communication mean to you? Why is it important?
Communication is key.
Here
Communication is
comes.
important because it's gonna be the thing that determines how long y'all last. Like you gotta ask yourself, can you be understood, vulnerable, and execute while being understood and vulnerable? Those two things are necessary. If you are a sound communicator, you know that the first step is you must be vulnerable. To all the men watching, you will probably be doing a lot of the leading in conversations to show her how to be vulnerable. But that's the problem because a lot of men they struggle with being
Vulnerable.
emotionally vulnerable.
Mm,
Mhm.
hmm that's that's so true. Mark, what about you?
Um, I think communication, pretty much he hit it on the head. Communication is definitely key. It's just a way of understanding and knowing who you're with. Whether it starts off as a friendship, whether it goes into a relationship, wherever you're at in that stage with that person, you still need to know how to communicate. I think one thing that's important to know is the way the other person communicates as well. Because, not everybody communicates the same. I'm a talker.
Mm,
I like to sit and
mm,
I like to talk things out. You know what I'm saying? Even if
mm,
I'm like upset or anything like that, let me take a 2 minutes and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to talk. Like now we can hash it out.
mm,
But my partner is not like that all the time. And that's one thing that I have to understand that like, he's not a talker. Sometimes his cool down period needs to be a lot longer.
mm,
And then, it's not necessarily like subliminals, but, in like his actions, I really see, okay, so he's kind of tense, his shoulders are up. Okay, to me, that's communicating that he's not ready. You know what I'm saying? When he's
mm.
relaxed, when he's like in a different state, when his body seems relaxed, then I'm like, okay, so now he's communicating that he's ready. He's not going to verbally say it, but he's communicating to me that he's ready. And then I
Right.
can change my approach. You know what I'm saying?
So you've really learned his body language in a sense, and I guess he, without probably him realizing it or knowing it now, he communicates with his body language. Yeah, am I
Right.
right by saying that? Right, and that's the way how you guys communicate, and he has
Hmm.
cool down time. Okay, that's cool. Um, what I'm gonna do, guys, is I've got three clips to show you. Three clips.
Okay.
Okay.
And three clips. I want you to watch the clip, and then we're going to talk about the clip. And I want you to tell me what communication skills are there, or and what communication skills are lacking. You got that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So what I saw from that is the body language from both of them, Mo, this is what you was talking about. Funny enough, right?
Hmm.
Um, they they were telling the truth with their body language, but with their words, they weren't really saying how they felt, and they're also denying what really they
Yeah.
wanted as well. Um, Aaron, what did you think?
Bro, they full. They're so cat, bro. They're lying. They're lying, bro. They're lying. They're lying.
You could tell, right? I mean,
Bro,
yeah,
baby, he couldn't even get on the horse good. Baby already breaking down. I can't believe I just let the love of my life walk away. We see
Right.
it all the time. We see it all the time. Bro out
hmm
here, he put his tongue in his jaw. I can't believe this.
Barely
yeah,
making eye contact. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like, bro,
yeah.
you better grow up here and be like, this ain't got nothing to do with you, babe. Like, I want
hmm
you. If your sister, she not hitting, so I gotta do what works for me, or I'm not gonna be happy. Like, nobody was
right.
being honest with the totality, and there's a bunch of people pleasers. There's a lot of There's a lot of oh, because of the context, because of what transpired, we don't have a fair shot at love. That's not how it works. And
Hmm.
then he finna go back to sis and basically for the rest of his emotional life with her be lying. Hey, bro, you the one. I ain't never felt this way
Hmm.
for you, but cat. Because every time her sister passed in the room,
Sniffing. Oh, that's your sister. What she on? What type of time she
Yeah.
on? Watch
Right.
out, bro. Watch out.
I noticed a lot of reverse psychology in that when she said, "No, you can't leave my sister. You can't leave my sister." She meant, "No, you can't leave me," because
Right.
you know what I mean. Like if he doesn't get married to his sister, then it's like, well, at least like for her, she has him in the family still. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I saw it. Even when you look at the end, she just broke down crying. Um, and even when he said, "Okay, I'll marry your sister," you could see there was a pause for a second where they were looking in each other's eyes, and you could kind of see, when you're in love and you have that out of breath moment. I could see
Right.
that there. And they kind of just like broke that off. What do you think, Mo?
I think, truthfully, I think that was like a really good example of how women are like every single day. Like instead of like, it's crazy how we are so emotional and how we are so like we were hard on our sleeves and all this other stuff, and it's just like we can never say what it is. Like, just say you got feelings for dude. Like, okay, because because listen, okay, so look, because okay, so now I'm thinking how she's thinking, right? I'm gonna be
Right.
in her perspective, right? All right, so this is a man that I love, right? And I know he loves me, or at least I know he got deep feelings for me, right? So we on the
Mm,
same page with that, right? But I know my sister, and I know that my loyalty technically still lies with my sister because that's my sister. All right, cool. Now she can have you, but me, I still have you because my sister has you. Now we can
mm.
go ahead and we can creep around because I still have you, because my sister has you, because it would be wrong if my sister don't have you and I have you. Like, like,
Hey, hey, hey,
like that's what it
hey, Mo
is.
on point. Mo on point, bro. Mo on
That's
point.
what
Let's
it
not even
is.
play. Mo on point, bro. Mo on
Yeah,
That's
point.
what
is
it
it?
is. I still
And
have him. Like it don't matter.
that is an example of communication, right? Or it
Hmm.
could be the simple fact that, you know what, we got to tell your sister that, you know what, this ain't gonna work because actually we found out
Right.
that we're in
Because
love
not
now.
only, and also like bringing it back to communication, she's not communicating or even being in one with herself and her feelings, because ain't no way like a sane person is going to be like, okay, yeah, I still got you because my sister got you. What? So like that to me, first of all, if my sister have you, my sister have you. Like even if I'm saying okay and I'm telling you okay, I understand at that point, whatever you and my sister are doing, whether y'all have kids, whether what is what it is, you're technically off limits for the rest of my life because my sister has you.
Mm,
I can't be like, I can't be laid up with you, right? And be like, man, my sister had you though. Like you gonna look at me like, first of all, you're gonna be comparing me to my sister, and I feel like that's wrong anyway. And then second
mm,
off, it's like I can't I can't tell I can't be 100 with my sister and I can't be 100 with you.
mm.
Like it's just not gonna happen. I can't communicate with my sister how I feel because I could be like, yeah, I'm in so and so relationship. We're gonna call him Triangle. I'm in a relationship with Triangle, and I'm beating around the bush about who Triangle is, and she trying to create more information. So I can't be 100 with her. But then if me and my sister fall out, who I go to, I'm confiding in my dude, and I can't be 100 with Triangle because he already know how she is. The communication has already been broken. As soon as she said
Mm.
yes, and as soon as he said, I'm gonna go marry your sister, at that point, off limits. It's a done deal. There's no
Yeah,
more to be said. Which
yeah,
they both lied to each other and they lied to themselves.
yeah. Wow, that was deep. That was deep. Um,
I'm
wow.
digesting it. I didn't know she was finna hit us like that.
Nah, neither did
I,
I.
okay, but okay, so that's what I said. You got to look at it from a different perspective, though.
Yeah,
Like
no, you
you
do.
really got to,
Yeah.
No, I
because
support. I
that's how
support.
women think. That's
I
how
love
we
Mm,
that.
think.
I
And
love that.
it sucks. Like it sucks that I'm even grouping myself in this category. Let's be clear. I do not think that way. I do not think
no, I
that
know,
way.
I know, I know.
But
You're
I
just,
can,
you're just.
right.
Wait.
I can easily switch it into that mode and be like, okay, I do understand how she's
Yeah, of
thinking because
course.
a lot
Yeah,
of women think that way,
yeah. We
and
can
it's
put ourselves in that
crazy.
position, and yeah. It
Can I
seems
ask
like though
a?
from
Oh, good. Sorry.
no, go on before you forget.
My question is to Mo. You know how you can go in and put yourself in the shoes of said woman? I noticed
Hmm.
that when men try to sympathize with other men, women be like smacking them upside the head, like, no, you shouldn't. But just right there, you was able to be like, sis, I get you. That's not right, but I get you. Men will
Right.
say that same thing, bruh. You trifling, but I understand. women hound them, trying to conform.
Okay, and that's a huge stigma. That goes back to like society saying having this whole men are supposed to be masculine, and when you're masculine, you're not emotional, you're not vulnerable, you have this tough exterior, and that's how it should be. So when women see a man that is in tune with his emotions, that effectively communicate how he feels or what he's feeling, they don't know how to handle that because they've never done that. They've never had to deal with that. They
Hey,
automatically
she
switch
flexing,
to a
bro. She
defense.
flexing on the camera, bro. She flexed up. She flexing on
It's
that
like she's
camera,
done
my
this
dog.
before.
It's automatically a
Wow.
defense. That's just what it is. That, and it's sad. It's really sad because you will want as many women that preach, I want my man, I hate nonchalant men and I can't stand what my man do. You only supposed to be non-friendly to them hoes out there. You're not supposed to be non-friendly to me, and we supposed to have this whole different. But when he do that, it's a problem. When he do that, he's soft. When he do that, he's not a real man. When he do that, he childish. But sis, that's your man. That's how it's supposed to be. If he could be that for you, you got to be that for him.
Look at Aaron's face. No, this is good. This is really good, and I haven't even got to the third clip yet. This is brilliant. For me, what I noticed is you have to put what you want sometimes and your feelings first. It seemed like he was marrying his sister out of duty, than love, or we could say what he really wanted. She even said, "I don't want to embarrass. You have to marry my sister because don't want you to embarrass the family. I don't want you to embarrass your family. Things like that." That's something else that I noticed as well. There was a little bit of honesty and communication there, but not enough for them to say, you know what, let's leave what's going on, forget about everybody else, let's focus on us. This wasn't planned. This is how I feel. Let's just do us, you know. But yeah, no, thanks guys. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna play the second clip and tell me what you think. Well, that was a short one, but
Hey, whatever clips you getting this from, this is kind of fire, bro. Like I feel
That's
like
what I'm saying. Like, what's the movies? Like, I need to.
I
Netflix
need to
show.
say, bro,
I'll
not
find it for
playing.
you.
Bro, finna smack him right over the head. Who she married? All right, bro.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know the film. They're all on Netflix, though. By the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out Netflix. Shout out Netflix. Shout out Netflix.
That one for me was very interesting. Again, we can point to there was no communication. So as you can see, he kind of gave her what we would call, and it kind of symbolized a promise ring, kind of, but it was like a bracelet. So he was like, you know, when you wear this, remember me, kind of thing. Notice he said it's been 4 months. He's been sending her emails, no reply, nothing. So something's happened in that 4 months. And within that 4 months, she's met somebody else. Not just met them, but
She was already with that dude.
married. Yeah. As soon as he left.
Yeah, she was already with the dude. Probably even before they was even on the trip. To be honest with you.
So
we really want to talk about it.
Right. So yeah. Now and probably we could assume her mindset was, you know what, even on that day when he handed her that bracelet, honesty was not there.
No.
Sam, I'm not interested in you, etc., etc. Exactly. And she led him on. She led him on.
I'm a firm believer that women cheat more than men anyway, and I'm gonna just put it out there, and I don't care where the backlash come from. But go ahead.
I was like, I don't believe it. Nathan, she said it. Look at his eyes. Nathan, where did you find this one from? Huh?
Yo, everything I was just thinking he said it. Everything I was just thinking he said it. Everything. That's why you my brother.
That's why she's in a relationship, bro. Do you know what I mean? See, this is
why. Yeah, bro. That's why. See, because I was on a sidebar. I was on I was surfing through Twitter, and Twitter was some woman was like, "Where are all the men that don't go out? Where they at?" And I was like, "They with a woman. That's exactly why they're not going out. They are literally in that woman's skin, bro. Like they have no desire. There was no point. A bunch of y'all is running out there destroying the streets, setting them on fire day in and day out. Like Mo is, she's that, bro. She's that. She's why bro is not interested. Bro, you trying to come out? You trying to come chill with bro? You trying to come? Nah, bro, I'm not. Bro, this is the 12th time we didn't ask, bro. This is the 12th
but
time.
This is the thing though. Okay, so you say that, but really, I'm not like that.
No, that's not. No. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again, Mo. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna break it down. You are the reason why. When bruh would usually be like, yo, I actually want to go out. No, he has no
Oh, okay, okay. Now I
desire.
see what
No
you're saying.
Yeah,
desire.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
that he
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
the
yeah.
option. It's you're
Right,
too the house is too peaceful for him to want to go out
right,
there into the
right, right,
world.
right,
I just want to go out and get money and I want to lay up on my girl, bro. I don't have
right,
no
right,
desire
right.
to go see what y'all talking about. Y'all could go do that. You see what I'm coming home to, bro. I don't know what y'all got going on. But I know I got going on, bro. I know I got going on. That's the
All
difference.
right, all right, Lux. So, so did anyone else notice? And it was a small short clip. But did anybody else notice anything? There's something I noticed, but I'm not going to say it yet.
All right, look.
I
Go ahead, go
I
ahead, go
feel
ahead.
like 4 months is kind of long for you to just keep going and keep going without trying to make any more effort than just emails. You know what I'm saying? Like, why
Hmm.
did it wait 4 months for you to ask somebody to sniff around, get information on
That's a
said
good
person?
point. I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
Like, 4 months is
Which
kind of long. Like,
because
4 months. Like, people didn't gone through like
may,
3 promotions on a job in 4 months. Like,
maybe that's why she
a
maybe
lot.
that's why she got married to somebody else because he was just doing the bare minimum. Maybe that could have been the case too.
It could be. But
Because
like I said,
they,
I feel like before they was on that trip, I feel like the dude that she's married to now was definitely already an option. I feel like she probably just needed that one last, let me make sure this is right, or that's how some people think.
mm,
Let me just make sure this the right dude. I'm gonna go see what else is out there. If ain't nothing else out there, then I'm gonna go ahead and but I still feel like okay, because this is why I say this. Because within 4 months, that dude, they could be emailing 2 weeks later, went out to see each other, right? It ain't nothing to
mm,
catch a flight. It ain't nothing to hop on the bus. It ain't nothing to take a road trip, right? So
mm.
within 4 months, you could have you've been established a relationship by then. So because
Proposed.
women, we may fall easy and we may fall quick, but 4 months, we like damn near committed. Like that's it. Like you huggy. Like where the ring at? Like I'm about like come on. Like my clock is ticking already. Like you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
feel like for a guy, for him to be that headstrong on that one woman, like in 4 months, I feel like with guys it takes a little bit longer. So I feel like within 4 months, you didn't stop yourself to be like, hold on, wait a minute, pause. 4 months and I ain't see you. I ain't hear from you.
Mm.
I ain't like
Yeah. How
that's kind of
serious
long
are
for you to
you?
start
Yeah.
asking around. Like I would have been asking
Mm,
around after 4 weeks, to be honest. Like where you
mm.
at? Like what's going on?
Aaron.
I didn't like how angry he was. I didn't like how he was doing because what was bruh's name? Zach? He's like,
Hmm.
brother
Yeah.
Zach. Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
But
bro,
it's like, yeah.
what you yelling at the minister for, bro? Like,
Hmm.
why? What's all that coming
Because
from,
he
bro?
technically
Like,
brought it
It's
upon
because he
himself.
lied. No, he lied. If you listen, he said, "Ah, bro, haven't you figured it out?"
that,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Haven't you
and that's
figured it
my
out?
thing, bro. To me, it's like he talking about. I feel like old girl married bruh. Who he talking to? That's what I feel like. I feel like plot twist. That's exactly what happened. I ain't seen the
Hmm.
movie, whatever. But the point is, it's like if 4 months go by and all you've been doing is emailing, if time has gone by and no response, I just feel like when there is no communication, you're fighting for nothing. That's
Right,
the relationship at the baseline. Y'all talked. You know, there's a
right.
stage called talking stage, or you
Hmm.
can literally say the communication stage. If
Mm,
nobody's talking, or if you're just the only one talking to yourself, it's the equivalent of sending them DMs to that baddie.
Hmm.
She's leaving you on red, bro. She's not interested.
mm,
That's just making her head bigger because she's, or maybe it's just proving her point. Like she's that pretty, she's that ill, she's that dope. Because there's
Hmm.
like 100 of y'all that she don't have time for, that
mm,
she's
Hmm.
not. And I just feel like as a man, you need to know where you putting your life force in. Like when you're trying to get married, you got to remember you're going to die for this woman.
Hmm.
You can't be dying for no woman that ain't talking to you.
Right.
yeah. Got it.
I feel like when it comes back to communication, um, one, the woman should have just been upfront and just told him what it was. Even
Mm-hmm.
even if it wasn't to the point where she was trying to marry old dude, even if they were just she was really trying to weigh her options, just say that. Just say that. I'm just trying to weigh my options real quick. I don't really want nothing serious right now, but if it turns into that, it turns into that. But I am gonna tell you, I got a dude back home. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of seen what it is, but I don't really know. But low-key, I'm feeling you because right now I'm having such a great time. Like, I'm real comfortable with you. Like, we've been talking, whatever they've been doing. Just say that. I feel like people would be more understanding of a situation like that than to be so quick to be calling everybody hoes.
Yeah, you see, and me and Aaron, I've said this a lot on stereo before, but the men have access to marriage, right? And it seems like this other dude was way more quicker, more intentional than he was, for whatever reason. He was more slower. Uh, that's how the dating market is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
what
race, literally.
what you put in is what you get out. Probably you guys have heard that saying before. What you put in is what you get out. If you put less in, you probably won't get anything out of it.
Right.
I'm going to play this next clip, which is kind of the same, which is kind of relevant to the first clip. You guys are going to like it. And then after this clip, this is going to get to the juicy part. We're going to talk about effective communication skills. But let's watch this. And let's see what
I'm through. I'm through. If I were to watch this movie at home, I'd be yelling at the TV.
So, again,
don't start with me. Don't start with me. Start with me.
All right, I'll say something like, I mean, yeah. Again, this shows what communication does, or lack of communication. You're not honest. She did not want the wedding to go ahead. Hence why she did that on purposely when she dropped her bracelet, and she just kind of like stood there. And let him just
that was a nonverbal. They was talking with their eyes. I had a whole conversation in my head.
Yeah, like again, body language. What you were saying, Mo, from the beginning. And it seems like from people expect you to understand their body language. If it works or not, I guess that's how it is first. What you think comes out in your body language. I think as human beings, we find it so hard to communicate how we actually feel. Hence why I want to do this topic today. How to communicate effectively and what does it look like? Clearly, it doesn't look like that. Now it's gotten to a point where they're at the wedding. And his sister, her sister has clocked on. It's like, hang on, something's not right here. My oldest sister likes this guy. I've been made a fool of, you know, and because of the communication, things really just kind
I feel
of
like it
crumbled.
would have went differently had they kept her in the loop as to what was going on. She wouldn't have had that reaction if it would have been, because I think her hurt comes from, and this is the sister, it's the bride. Her hurt comes from, you have to get over it, or you have to realize that my fiance, I really love this dude. I want to spend the rest of my life with this dude. He's in love with my sister. That's one thing, right? But it's not as big as neither of them gave me a choice to decide whether I wanted to keep going with him or whether I wanted to just let him go with my sister. Nobody gave me a choice. Everybody kept me in the dark. That hurts most than anything. Because down the line, give me a few weeks, I can get over the fact that, he wanted my sister, or he was in love with my sister. Him and my sister messed around. I can't get over the fact that y'all didn't let me know that we in a church full of people, everybody's looking at me. It's supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Everybody's looking at me like, girl, you stupid. Like, you're dumb. Because I could tell from the pew how they was talking, now, if it was me and I was in the audience, I could tell by the way they're looking at you. Where do you object?
I object.
Because the way they're looking at each other and talking to each other with their eyes, something ain't going on. Something ain't right here. Sis, I don't want you looking stupid, but right now they have you looking stupid, sis. Like, come on, let me go fix your edges, because sis, let me help you out, her. Let me tell you something.
His pulse was racing, like you could hear it, like boom, 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 to the point where he was even daydreaming. It was like, I can't take this,
Because let me tell you, when he first looked at her and she wasn't looking, and that sister did not look at him for a reason. When he first looked at her, the question he asked her was, "Are you sure this is what we want to do right now?" She looked at him and was like, "I don't know. I'm not 100% sure." They was like, he went back to him. all right, so I'm right now. I'm going off of your cue, so it's your ball in your court. It's whatever you want to do. I'm with you. That's it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. She said, okay. Boom, bracelet fell off. That was the goal. That was, if you come get this bracelet, we know what it is.
It was like he was telling her, I still want you, and she was like, right, we got to end this. The bracelets, and then she did what she had to do to kind of make things.
And when the bride turned around and looked at her sister, she said, bitch, I already know. Not you drop this bracelet, and then looked at him. Not you come down and pick it up.
Look. Let me tell you right now. All right, I got my words together. Because look. We have to cusp of it. To me, what I saw was a staged way to confirm and humiliate you. Like, if you're, because we're talking about loyalty to the family, right?
Yep.
If you're loyal to your sister, you don't even let it get to that point.
Facts. If Woody even got that.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, your man's he not loyal. He want what's over here. And I ain't saying I did everything right, but I'm saying like I want him too. And I need you to know, like, you're not supposed to be over there with bruh. He really supposed to be over here with me. And then y'all duke it out. And then bruh, he not involved in the family matters, right?
Right. Because if it was really about family, then that's
precisely. And then you look at the human. Go ahead, Nathan. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's difficult for, and hear what I say, Mo, right? But it's harder for the woman to come out and say that on her own when the man that she loves is actually saying as well, no, I'm gonna marry her. And how it usually works is she will fall back to what her man says, if you know what I mean. She'll go along with it. And it seems like even though it wasn't, they couldn't really keep to that oath, I can actually see that she was trying to be loyal to him, but there was a struggle battle there between, I need to do this for my sister, but me personally, I feel like we both feel like we want each other. How does this work? So I see a power struggle there where it's like, do you know what I mean? And that's why I feel like it would be hard for her to say, this is how I feel about him, when I know for a fact if she went to him, he'll be like, no, I want to marry you. I want to marry you.
Now, to counteract that, if it was real true love, not lust, if it was real true love, you would have built up the courage and you would have had that conversation. If it was really true, and if this is what y'all felt, down to y'all soul, down to y'all bones, no matter how hard of a conversation it may have been, no matter what the outcome would have been, because if you let it get that far, you pretty much saying wherever this goes is how it goes. That's just what we're going to do. If we together, we together. If we not, we not. Because you let it get so far. So you let it get that far and you're that deep, the conversation should have been had. And that's the way the bride gonna look at it. That's the way the sister gonna look at it. Either way it goes, no matter if you thought it was gonna hurt my feelings, I'm a grown woman. I can take whatever comes my way. Now I done been hurt by best friends. I done been hurt by cousins. I probably been hurt by my own daddy. But it don't matter. No matter how hard life gets, if you my sister and this is really how you felt, truly, then you should have had that conversation with me. Instead of having me out there looking stupid in front of all them people. Because I was a church full of people.
And that's so to the man then. So then the other thing I observed is like, as a man, if you know you feeling away, it don't matter what sis talking about. You know, you are Lord Anthony. You are Lord. You are ruling over some land, bro. You're not worried about none of that. You got plenty of resources and a lot of ways to mitigate a lot of situations, bro. And we talking about your family name. You got to go back and turn to your people at your crib and be like, so yeah, y'all, I really kind of messed up right here. Right. Instead of being the big dog that you is, because you was big enough to go tell her, I want to be with you over the sister after sleeping with the sister and feeling away and all that. I mean, I'm creating context. I don't know what really happened in Bridgerton, but y'all get what I'm saying, bro. He activated Shorty's love. And then to back to the sister who humiliated her sister, why you got to take off the bracelet at the wedding? No, it's going to catch his attention. Like, why you couldn't wait for all that? Y'all had already broken off on horseback in the
I'm telling
forest
you,
when nobody was around.
because they was communicating with their
Exactly.
eyes.
Yeah,
And so
communicate
to
They
with
was
your
me,
eyes.
talking with their eyes.
when bro picked up the bracelet, it was like, so meet me back in the forest at 12 to get these yams cause you a real one, cause I like how you did it and I'm finna pop it for you right now. But I gotta go take care of my sister and make it seem like I care about her, even though I'm really, really concerned about what's going on with you and what we finna do at midnight. Like, come
Right.
on, bro. Like, you don't pop off no bracelet. And then
It was
why
so
you let bro do
theatrical.
it? Why you let bro do it? You should have been like, no, I got it, cause you getting married. Shut up. Right then and there. And then sis would have woke up, and then you still would have looked good. Oh, word, he want my sister. Nah, and then my sister was a real one. Wow, you could explain that, but nah, you didn't messed up, man. You didn't messed up. Bruh he built soft. Charmin soft. Tissue. Me next. Bruh built soft. Bruh, Lord in name only.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how hard it is, like if it's true, have the conversations.
Yeah, have the conversation, and then
Because
it proves
you're gonna endure hard stuff no matter what, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your friendships, you and as an individual, your life, you're gonna deal with hard stuff, and there's some conversations that just need to be had. If you're not willing to have those conversations, then you might as well walk around here with a blindfold on your head, on your face, and not even realize what's going on around you.
Yeah, and again, body language isn't enough until you start talking. You have to talk, and even though they could read each other very well, you need to talk in order to know how to position and move in your life next. Like,
And
what is the next point in this? Because they clearly didn't know what to do. There was no. You see, it would be different if he said at the wedding, or it could have said, we'll go with the family. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Because it didn't have to get to the point of where they're in the church. Didn't have to get to that point. Now, still even more lies there because she ran back now with her sister, as in to be like, oh my gosh, she's upset. What has he done? Almost kind of seen there. Like she should have stayed right
putting
where
the
she
blame
was.
on him.
Yeah. She should have stood right where she was and kind of gave an apology or whatever. And that's how it could have went down.
I feel like, sorry, but to your point of, they weren't really communicating. You were right. It definitely would have went differently had they had a conversation and would have been true about how they were feeling about each other. But I also feel like the fact that they didn't truly say how they felt to each other or truly say out loud, because sometimes you got to hear stuff out loud in order for it to click and make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the fact that they kept beating around the bush about everything with the situation made them more scared to have the conversation. Like, I feel like they
that can happen.
They enabled their own fear because it's like they weren't really talking.
See, if you communicate with your body language, eventually you're right. You can get used to just communicating with your body language to the point where you find it hard to talk. That's how you guys started. And if you're not careful, that's how you're going to finish. Just not communicating. Aaron, you got a lot on your mind. What you thinking?
Because, bro, I'm starting to think about my life and situations where, but I don't want to skip ahead into the segments, bro. Like, if you got a certain way you trying to do this, I ain't trying to steamroll.
No. It's fine. Don't be putting all your business out there, though. That's all I'm saying.
All right, man. You're right. I'm just, let me hold on. Let me get right on the seat. Let me kind of back up a little.
Check you.
He gotta have his thinking chair.
Yeah, but now to the next point, and this is the juicy part.
Okay.
Now we've seen all those 3 clips. The question is, how do we communicate effectively? And I want to hear some points from all of us. Like, how do we communicate? How do we oh my God, slow down, Nathan. How do we communicate effectively? Yep. I'm excited about this. That's why I'm getting my words mixed up. But what comes to me, Aaron, stop laughing, dude.
You're right. I'm sorry.
The first thing that comes to my mind is listen to understand, not counter react.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, I may say, yeah, Aaron, stop laughing, man. He could be like, I ain't laughing. What you on about? He's not listening. He's actually counter reacting to kind of almost defend himself when he's actually in the wrong. I'm not saying that you are, bro, but you know what I'm saying, right?
I feel that.
That's the first thing that comes into my mind.
Okay.
You know, but instead of counter reacting, you know, it could be something on the lines of, I understand how you feel. I'm sorry about that. So it's also acknowledging
Yes.
what the person's saying by saying, one, I'm sorry. I understand how you feel. Understand and sorry when you mean it can be so powerful. And it can, and let's go deeper in that. Sorry, I understand. Just so you know that this is how I felt when you did X, Y, and Z.
I
Know
feel
what I
like
mean?
it's also important to let it be known that their feelings and however they felt, whether you felt differently, is still valid because it's their feelings. You can't
Right.
invalidate somebody else, how somebody else feels. Like that's how they feel, however they took it. You don't know what trauma, you don't know what triggers they have, you don't know what is causing them exactly to feel this way. Whatever the disconnect is, like, oh, I did something to you to make you feel that way. I didn't mean to, but your feelings are definitely valid because I can see where it's coming from. Like you have to make sure, like when you apologize, you're validating that person's feelings because you can
Yeah.
say sorry. You know what I'm saying? You can say sorry, and truthfully, you can understand too. And some people are so bullheaded they'll understand, but still not mean it, still not be genuine with it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so like, I'm still right. I'm still right. Sometimes it's not about being right. Sometimes it's about
Actions.
sometimes it's just about making things clear and realizing, okay, so whatever I did this thing, this action, and it triggered this person. And I don't want it to trigger this person because I don't want to have to go through this anymore. I don't want to have this conversation again. So what do? You
Yeah.
apologize, you realize, you validate their feelings because once you validate, that means you completely understand exactly what they're feeling. And you may have felt that way in a different situation as well.
Right. And when we mean validate, we mean that we have confirmed how they feel. And
Yes.
you know when people say actions speak louder than words, what you do
Mm-hmm.
after that as well, you actually actively plan and try to make sure whatever triggered that person off or whatever doesn't happen again. And you try your best. And this is where communication comes in, where you could say, okay, Hannah, I am sorry about this. I acknowledge how you're feeling. I understand. I'm gonna try better. But if I do mess up, you know, my bad, but I'm not trying to, but I will
Mm-hmm.
actively try. This is hard for me to do X, Y, and Z. You know, bear with me. I do understand, etc.,
Right.
etc. You know what I mean?
This is something I do as well. So when I have tough conversations with my family or with my friends or anything, because I'm the one that don't sugarcoat anything, I'll say how it is and how I think it and how I feel it. And sometimes I have to backtrack and be like, hold on, that was a little too harsh.
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't mean to whoop you with my tongue, but okay, I understand. I get it.
Mm.
But I always, when they're venting to me or whatever they're saying, I ask them back to them or I say it back to them. I'm like, so what you're saying is X, Y, and Z. And
And
because
you're doing
X,
that
Y,
to
and Z,
confirm and to understand,
yes,
though.
yes, to make it
Right.
clear, don't beat around the bush with me. Make it clear that what I did and give me the prime example of what I did, what I said, so I don't do it again. You don't give me no vague statement. You can't tell me, oh well, you were disrespecting me. Okay, how? Because I could disrespect you by rolling my eyes. I could disrespect you by looking attending to something else. You know what I'm saying? I could disrespect you in a whole bunch of different ways. How exactly did I disrespect you? And that's not coming from a place where like, no, I don't think you're right, but I'm gonna just say it because I'm bullheaded and I think that whatever you're feeling is stupid. No, I really want to understand what exactly did I do so I don't do it again.
Right.
And sometimes you have to talk to people like that. You have to dumb it down. And it sounds so remedial and it sounds so like juvenile almost that you're like almost talking like children, like you're trying to wean
I
the
don't think that's
information
true.
out of
I don't
them.
think that's true. I don't think that's true. I
I don't
disagree.
think
I
it's
don't.
true either, but I've been told that, oh, why
That's
tell you
just
you're dumb?
that's
But it's
because
like I'm not.
people aren't trying actively to master energy and body language and understand the baseline of communication. You're not when you're learning something, it's always going to be a baseline of
Yeah.
childlike. Like if you go into that calculus AP class at the age of 29 and it's been 11 years since you went to algebra or
Right.
anything, you're going to be at the remedial level. You're going to have some little 17-year-old crapping on you because
Mm-hmm.
he just came out of geometry AP and bruh's ready. He's telling his mom he finna be an astronaut. That's all required. You're behind. You different.
Right.
You fresh out of the office administrating, and you know how to file stuff on Microsoft Excel. Skill set is different. And I just feel like when you see somebody that's strong in something, especially men and women, as soon as that man see that woman is strong and this right here, all of a sudden he's trying to defend himself versus understanding I'm vulnerable and I need help here anyways, or vice versa. That woman see that this man is solid in something, and it's like, oh well, no, you're vulnerable. Get fed so you can learn. It's all gonna be a baseline of remedial. Like it's all gonna be that until you build up the rhythm, until you start mastering it.
For sure.
Because when you talk like that, you're really communicating for both of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's why you're dope. That's why you're dope, bro.
Because you realize that, you know, and I don't want people to think it's a bad thing, but what you're doing is you're helping that other person by again communicating for you guys both. But you're saying, but because some people can't communicate effectively in the sense of communicating how they actually feel, like what you said. What you did upset me, and you say, okay, how? Let me know, because I don't want to do that again, right? Or it could be someone says you upset me by saying X, Y, and Z, and you could say, so are you telling me you felt this way when I did this?
Say it back to them.
And you're not being sarcastic. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that you understand what they're saying, so now you can effectively with communication get across what's actually happening here.
Yeah, so y'all can move forward for sure.
Right, and it's hard for people to do that. You have to, in some situations, you have to communicate for you both, because one person might be heated, and what you need to do right now, where you sit, is you need to kind of water down the situation, speak calmly, because you need to understand exactly what's happening here, so you can diffuse the situation. Yeah, go on.
What is the baseline of communication? What is the most important thing?
I feel like, okay, so baseline.
One word answer, because I want to hear what y'all got to say. One word answer.
One word?
One word.
I never talk one word, but
I just spit all over my window. No. Oh, go ahead.
One word. Hold on, come back to me. I gotta.
All right, spin the block. All right, hit me up, Nathan. What you got? What's your nice beard? What you got?
Compromise.
Okay, what you got? Man?
Okay. Whew. Baseline. Clarity.
Ooh, clarity.
Now, can I elaborate on that real quick?
Wait, I say trust.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go on.
Trust. So we got compromise, clarity, trust. To me, you will not compromise with somebody you don't trust. To me, you will not gain clarity with somebody you do not trust. Those two are great answers. It's just right there. And I have a problem with people that are picking people that they do not trust on a deep level of communication. It's like, if you can't trust this man, if you can't trust this woman to check you and correct you and set the boundary or the margin, you're not with the right person. It can't just be always defense. You can't always be trying to defend yourself, because people are heavy-handed when it comes down to energy. You out here as a woman, as a man, if you are more sound in energy and you respond defensively, and you sucker punching people that you say you love, and now they bleeding and stuff, and you like, oh, that's just a reaction. Bro, you got to put them in the ICU. Like you out here ruining stuff. You out here hitting them low. You can't do that. Your reflex should not be defense when you trust somebody in your blind spot. Just because you can't see them don't mean you're supposed to be reaching back and slapping them up. You're supposed to be calmly turning around. Yo, I'm not really familiar with that. What's going on? And then y'all build it from there. So you said clarity.
I said clarity. Okay. Clarity being, okay, and I'm going to take this back. As a kid, right? You know, when you first start talking as a kid, right? And you know, you're trying to understand words. You're trying to, whatever your initial language is in your household, you're trying to understand those words and speak clear. So I'm in an English household. My family speaks English. I can't communicate clearly if I'm speaking Spanish to them. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm jumbling up some words, or if I'm not really saying full sentences. Like I'm chopping it up, bits and pieces. Like it's coming out like, and I'm not really just like, you know what I'm saying? Like Or if
Yeah.
I'm like talking like a kid, you know how kids like learn and they still trying to get over that goo goo gaga stage and they trying to
Yeah.
like really talk. And it's
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
you're
Yeah. Yeah.
four. Now come on, big words. Come on, give it to me. What you want? You want some juice? Because I don't know what oos is. I don't know what that is. You can't say oos,
Now
oos, oos,
put
oos, oos. You know,
right
like
Okay. Okay.
now put the body language with the baby the situation scenario that you gave. I
Okay.
understand what I understand what you're kind of saying, what you're referring to with your body language and what you're pointing at, but
mm-hmm.
I need clarity
Yes,
on this
Ooh, I like
as
how
to
y'all did
how
that. Good job,
yeah.
baby. Come
clarity.
on, boy.
No, it's true, and something that you said, Aaron, the trust, and that kind of links to my compromise, because you can't be stubborn headed. That would make someone shut down in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Both people, it requires compromise.
Mm-hmm.
What and thinking about if the other person doesn't know how to compromise, it won't really work. There's gonna be a tug of war going on there. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. Can I just say to both of your points of trust and compromise? If it gets to a point, okay, and I'm gonna speak for myself because I don't know if everybody thinks like this. Because sometimes I be thinking weird.
Mm.
I don't put titles on everybody that's in my life. I've met hundreds of people within my 26 years of life, right? But I know the difference between a friend and an associate, or even just, hey, I know them, but I don't know them. I know of them, like I know they're existing, but I don't really know them like that, so I'm not gonna call them a friend. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm putting a title on your relationship with me, whether it's friend, relationship, whatever, that with that title comes some sort of trust. Now we can build on that trust, but
Stability. Mm.
it's some sort of trust that's there because I trust you enough to be 100 with me, like I expect you to trust me enough to be 100 with you.
Mm.
Now the compromise comes in where sometimes we be bullheaded and we need to shut each other's mouths and we really need to listen to what we're saying and take our egos out of it. Take the ego out of it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna compromise my ego and I'm gonna put my ears and I'm gonna really listen to what you're saying. Now I'm not trying to make you feel stupid. I want clarity. I want to know what you're saying.
Mm.
Right? But with that trust, you have to understand that like the people you trust should be the people that you can go to, should also be the people that you trust to be all the way 100. How ugly that
Honest.
reality is, it has to be 100 and it has to be genuine. That's what that trust is. If you don't have that trust in those people, take them titles out of their life, take that title off of them. If
Mm.
you can't trust that person to be 100% honest with you when you at your lowest, you like, I don't know what happened. It could be like I'm in a situation with my boyfriend. I don't know what's going on. Like we just can't do it. If I, as your friend, you put a friend on me, as I'm as your friend, can't tell you, okay, he did this, but you also did, and this is where you could have
Mm.
done. Because I'm not talking to him, I'm talking to you. You know, so this
Mm.
is where you could have done. And if you get on defense with me, at that point, we not as tight as we think we are.
Yeah, you see, when I see that the position of a friend, they should be your mirror, right? So you looking at yourself in the mirror, the mirror shows what's on your face, what is sticking out, what needs
Mm-hmm.
correction. That's what a friend should be. Now, and this goes to my next point of communication. You can disagree with each other, but don't disregard each other.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So what you did in your relationship was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. Now the disregard comes in when I say you're stupid, get out my face, don't contact me
Right.
anymore. Yeah,
Right.
that's disregarding that person instead of correcting them. This is what you done wrong, but also still keeping them within your friend circle.
Yeah.
Don't disregard them, but just correct them. That's what a friend should be for, is to give people correction, advice, counsel. Friends should nurture each other. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if we was to, if we was to go to the Bible, there's a scripture that says, "Iron sharpeneth iron." So there's the countenance of a friend. So friends, you should sharpen each other. In other
Yeah.
words, make each other
Mm.
sharpen each other. So when it comes to life, they won't get blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're really there to sharpen each other and to improve each other as friends. Don't disregard when they've done something wrong, try and help them out, give them the best advice possible. Sometimes what friends do is they get in their feelings because what you did
Yeah.
has now triggered something that that person done to me. How could you do that? No, what I told you about, no, it's got nothing to do with
Right.
me.
Got nothing to do with what we
Nothing to
talking
do
about.
with me. It's all to do with you. And this is another point. We can't make situations all about us. That's
Yeah, I
another
can't stand
problem.
that when I go to a friend and then all of a sudden we talking about them, because then to me I feel like, and mentally I'm like, so I'm crossing you off the list of who I could come to. So basically what you telling me is you just a go party, go hang out type friend. All right, because I could trust you enough to have my back and don't let me get kidnapped. I could trust you enough to not let me, drive under the influence. I could trust you enough to not let, if something go down at a party and some girls start swinging and they homegirls jump in, you're gonna jump in too. I can trust you that far, but other than that, I can't trust you by that. Okay, that's what you tell me, because I'm already gonna feel some way, and then once we pass the situation, I'm gonna come back and I'll be like, listen, we had this conversation, right? And it turned to like you talking about your family situation, or your situation, what's going on in relation to what I was doing. And I get where you were trying to go with that. It just didn't hit like that. And I felt some type of way about that because I was at a spot, and my friends know me. I'm not an emotional person. I'm not one to really talk about my feelings like that. Like, it really takes me to a point where I'm like sitting in my feelings and dealing with something, and I'm like, okay, I need to let this out because I can't keep thinking in myself. I need to let it out. I need to put it in the air. I need to put it out there. And if I call upon you and you start changing that, me being the type of person I am, I'm going to feel some type of way. And I'm not going to say it right then and there because I don't know your state, because I obviously triggered something in you for you to start talking about what you experienced in your situations. So I'm not going to, I'll let you have your moment. Even though you took my moment away from me, I'm going to let you have your moment. But I'm going to come back, and I'm going to let it be known that that's the last moment you're going to have in that sense. Because if you can't be that to me, then why should I be that to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't be that rock, that confidant, like, I need my homegirl. Like, I need my homegirl. My homegirl, she gonna ride for me. I know she gonna ride for me. But when it comes down to me emotionally, I'm ready to break down. I need somebody to uplift me, somebody to empower me. And I could be all of that for you, and you can't be that for me. Something wrong. We got to disconnect.
Yeah.
We got to. It's it's wonky right now. I'm not liking that, and it needs to be addressed.
I agree. That comes under my next point, to be open and honest. Open and honest, you know.
A lot of people open, but they
And
show.
when you're not, yeah, that can lead to toxic behaviors too. Also, when you guys are communicating, when I communicate, we should pay attention to the words that people say. Really pay attention to what they're saying. For
And that's why I
example,
always just spit it back to them, because sometimes what they say is not necessarily what they mean, but they don't know how to say it any differently.
true.
And it's like, okay, you don't know how to say this any differently. Okay, I'm gonna teach you how to say this, because what I got from that was not it, and I know that's not where you're trying to go with that. So is this what you're trying to say? Because I need, because
I
I
I
can't
pay
help you if I
attention.
don't know.
I pay attention to when you ladies say "not really," because I need to know, is it a yes or a no?
Yeah,
But you know what I mean? Like, because
All that she
I'm
was
getting
saying,
better.
and she was like,
I'm getting better.
"Ooh,"
because
she was like, "Wait a minute,
right?
Nathan, Professor Nathan, hold on, like
Because
you're doing something."
when ladies say not, when ladies say not really, that's a form of they're not totally being honest. If I'm being honest, not really. Where guys would say no or yes. Pay
Okay,
attention to the word.
let me. Okay, because I'm gonna stand up for my woman. Okay, I'm gonna stand up for y'all. I'm gonna stand up for my woman. Okay, okay.
Let me
So
hold on. Let me fix my chair. Hold on.
there you go. Sometimes when we say not really,
Yeah.
is okay. No, we thinkers and we overthink and we emotional. So we all that comes into play, right? So we sense, or if we feel like it's not the right time to indulge in a conversation like
You
that, or
say not really,
we
which means you
say
don't
not
want to
really to
talk.
deflect. Yeah, so we
Deflect.
don't go into that.
That's
We
why
don't say that.
that's that's why I still try and bring it out of some of you lot, because
Yes.
it needs to be spoken about, because I don't know when you're not really is going to turn into actually,
Right.
because and the thing is, as you you're not
Go ahead and say it.
a lot of the not reallys stay that way. They don't. You don't come back to us and say, "This
Thank
is
you.
how I felt."
Thank you.
Okay, so
You leave.
So listen, hold on. I understand that. I really do.
Mhm,
I really do.
mhm.
And I've been at fault for that. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've been at fault
Thank
for that.
you.
But also listen, sometimes some women don't know how to come back to that type of conversation. Sometimes
Okay,
it's
okay.
it's 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 a not knowing, because listen, so growing up in a household, right?
Right.
Mm,
We're expected, we're told to respect our elders and all that, right? A
Right.
lot of, especially young girls, when we go through puberty and, like, when we're getting picked on, bullied, I'm gonna say from my experience, I grew up in a church, but like a lot of, and it was a group of us, but I had got bullied by not only my friends, because I was a late bloomer, I got bullied by their parents, just little sly
wow.
remarks and stuff. And it really made me grow up not having a voice, or at least I felt like I couldn't say what I needed to say, because I had to respect my elders. They were older than me. You know what I'm saying? What am I? What am I going to be disrespectful? And then I'm going to go home and get in trouble by my mom. So it was a lot of that going on. And I feel like in a lot of women's situations, it's like you're growing up, you just got to deal with it. That's what puberty is. You just got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And it happens to guys too. Oh, you're a man, you just got to deal with it. Men don't do that. You just got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
okay, you telling me to deal with it, but what is dealing with it? What does that look like? What does that mean? How do you
Okay.
do that?
Okay,
And
Mo.
so when
So
we
hold
grow
up.
up and
So
we grow up and we start to
okay.
say, not
Cause it's
really.
like, cause yeah, I hear you, but this is where it gets murky. This is where you have to face it, because it doesn't matter if that's how you grew up. When you decide to sign up for a relationship, that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
putting all out there. That's what you're saying. And I feel like a lot of women in this scenario right here with the not really. I feel like a lot of women aren't saying what you just said about, yo, I felt like I didn't have a voice. A lot of women are spoiled and they have
Mm-hmm.
entitlement. So it's not even that. You were going through
They're
traumatic things.
they're
Women,
innate. Yeah.
there are women that have plenty of voice. They get real boisterous when it come down to telling a man how to be a man,
Mm-hmm.
how to treat them, how to
Mm.
love them, etc. But when it come
I'm
down
gonna
to the account,
tell you why. I'm gonna tell
okay,
you why.
okay,
Because women hate to be wrong.
that's my point though. So then spinning the block. So it's like
Yep.
when you say a lot of women don't know how, it's like, nah, I believe a lot of women are in a situation where they actually have the area or
Mm-hmm.
the place to learn. Not to mention you have this thing called a cell phone, which is like the world at the tip of your fingertips. So anything you want to research or find out, you can actually research. But a
That's
lot of
true.
women are not interested in trying to figure out how
Yeah.
wrong they are. A lot
Yeah.
of they're not interested in that. A lot of women are not interested in figuring out how jacked up their conversation skills really are. They don't want to hear how
Because
baseless they be making
right.
arguments, because it changes the dynamic of the relationship. That means
Yep.
you would need to let that man lead. That means that since you don't know what you're talking about, you probably need to be quiet right here. But that's when it get real murky. Who you talking to? Why is it like this? You who you think you
Mm-hmm.
is? You not my daddy? And it's like, nah, but I got your back and I'm trying to make you into something because you don't know nothing about this portion of life right here.
So let me tell you.
That's,
Let me tell you. When it comes to your point, when you said when you're in a relationship, that's when it should really click. You're right. It should, because once you're in a now, and I'm not talking about them little kid relationships. Oh, he my boyfriend. I'm
yeah,
talking
committed.
about us
Something
as
serious.
grown people committing to someone, being with someone physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. Being with that one, that's when it really should. That's your voice. Right there, you have a voice, because what you're doing is you're laying a foundation. If you don't put down your half of that foundation, he can bring in the little cement powder. I don't know how to make cement, but he can bring in that. If you don't bring in that water to mix it up and to
Yeah.
stir it up, and if both of y'all don't put in the arm work to stir it up, yeah, it's gonna be muddy. You're not gonna
So
have no foundation.
right,
And
and what?
that's what a lot of people fail to realize. It's like, once you don't look at these outside relationships, don't look at what so and so is doing, don't look at what you see on social media. Build your
Mm,
own foundation.
build your
However your
own. Yeah.
foundation looks like, you need to, whatever house you want to build for you and your partner, build it. But it has to be yours. Don't copy somebody else's, because you don't know what it took for them to get to that point. You
Mm,
don't know what they had to go through. You
mm,
may be going through
mm.
something completely different, but you're trying to mock something that to you guys is unrealistic. You got to put in that work. And a lot of women, and I'm going to say, listen, I'm all for women, but women, we can be bullheaded. We can be ignorant to the sense. We have to put in the work. Don't always think because your man chased you, you don't have to work no more. That's a lie. That's a
It's like,
lie.
and it's like a lot of times men are that they are disregarded. Like how Nathan was talking about, you know, you can acknowledge and not disregard when it comes down to energy and conversation. A lot of women disregard their men with the effort that they place in. It's always they treat them like how the moms do the sons. Wait, like when you get whooped and it's like, well, I made you some food. You hungry? Like
Right.
that's not an apology, bruh. You need to
Right.
be like, yo, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for over talking you. I'm sorry for being bullheaded.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being stubborn. I'm sorry for not understanding. I'm sorry for not letting you take lead, even though I picked you. Like that's the biggest thing I don't understand. Women be out here, oh my God, girl, he is so fine. He is so this, he is so that. Now it's time for him to lead. Girl, I don't even know what he talking about. He talking about we gonna do this. Girl, not over here. We not doing that. I'm gonna tell you what we finna do. And it's like, you
But
picked them though.
sometimes I feel like as a woman though, like I want my man to lead me. Like I
You
want
do.
you to
You
direct
do.
me. And listen,
You do.
I tell all my friends this, I tell everybody, your man should. That's okay. That's what they're there for. Like they're supposed to. Like, and even if you feel like it's not the way that you want it to go, y'all still heading in the same direction. Y'all just taking
I
a different
like
path.
I like what you
Go ahead,
said,
Nathan.
Mo, right, about the foundation, because that is so important.
Yeah, I really like
And
that.
and the question is, where is everyone building their foundation onto when it comes to relationships?
Ooh.
Because
They
because
base it
because
off of other
because
people.
because right. And I can't remember who it was. It was Lux or you, Mo, but someone said when they're in relationship, that's when it should click. That can be the moment where it's too late because of the social media, because of all this other stuff. Hence why I want to do this, because effective communication, because um you shouldn't really be looking at. I was watching a video yesterday, and the lady said, "I don't want to get married because of failed or bad marriages that I've seen."
Mm.
Aaron made a point. Everyone's on mobile phones. If you want to prove yourself wrong, go look it up.
Hmm.
Mm.
You want to see successful marriages? Look it up. I guarantee if you go into your own town center malls right now, you will. I guarantee you will see married people slash couples.
To
There's a
that
lot
point,
of.
though. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Finish up.
No, no, yeah. What I'm saying is though is that sometimes we we accept the lie to suit ourselves and to make ourselves comfortable because of the unknown that we are scared of.
Hmm.
But yeah, go
To,
ahead.
to your point, to a couple points that you said. To the unknown point, right. A lot of it, we enable ourselves in our fear because we don't know.
Mm.
But then as a grown woman, as a grown man, when are you going to pick up the book to learn? You
Mm-hmm.
can't expect somebody to always teach you some stuff that you need to know. Once you're out of school, where are your teachers? Who's getting
You
paid to teach you?
you can't afford to stay unlearned because people just stop
Exactly.
right there.
And you're supposed to learn. That's when your friends really come into play.
They
That's when you
should.
really should sit back and look like and observe like, all right, so you do this on what you're teaching me is what not to do, because I feel like you going through hell right now, like, and I'm like, man, like, so
Mm,
come give me a hug, like, what's going on? You should learn
mm,
from that. That's learning. There's so many things that we take for granted that we're actually learning from, that we don't realize that we're learning from it. There's so many things that we do. But then to your other point where you said about it not clicking, or it'll be a little too late. It definitely, if you're looking on the outside, if you're on the outside looking in, you don't know what how that relationship failed, how that marriage failed. You don't know what happened. And a lot of people are ignorant to the point where they think everybody cheating, but you don't know if it was because we just fell out of love, or what we thought was love wasn't really love, and it turned into anger, it turned into bitterness. You don't know if it was life hit us hard, and individually we couldn't handle it together, so we had to take a step back and we had to make it separate and deal with it on our own. You know what I'm saying?
I
You don't know
like,
what
yeah,
it is. And a lot of people have this fairy tale sense of a marriage, but what they fail to realize is every marriage is different, just
it's
like every
different.
single person is different. You're not going to run into the same person that you ran into 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to run into the same, like, it's not going to be the same relationship over and over and over again. It may have the same result. They may have ended up in a divorce. Cool. That's their life, though. You don't know what they did in their life. You don't know what they did in their marriage. Were you at home with them 24/7 and you understood what they was talking about every time they had an argument? No, you weren't there. You don't know what type of feelings, what words were said, what boiled up to the point where they were just like, all right, boom, this is it. We're going to cut ties right here. No longer. You don't know what that was. But if you're going into it thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to have a happy marriage and, you know, we're not going to have any troubles and we get along really well and we're not going to have any disagreements, you're setting yourself up for failure because life don't work like that. Life is going to test you. Your partner going to test you. You're going to test your partner. And y'all really going to figure out what it is to be married.
I want to say something right before I forget. You mentioned something when you're on the outside looking in, it can look so good.
It could look super good.
Not that it's not. And I vision, for example, you're standing on the seashore, and you're looking in that deep water. Everything looks so nice. Until when you fully submerge into it, you feel the pressure of the current, depending how deep you get.
Ooh.
The message is, can you swim in it? Can you survive in it? Do you have the tools for it? Right?
And the very first tool you should have in your toolbox is effective communication.
Effective communication.
Just bring it full circle.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say two things. This is what we have covered so far. Listening to understand, not to counter-react. You can disagree, but don't disregard. To be open and to be honest. Don't make the conversation all about you. Be willing to compromise. Pay attention to the words that people say, as well as their body language. Take love and care in an approachful way, being open with your thoughts. But there's something I didn't say, which Aaron, we spoke about on the podcast talk, which was expect every relationship to go through three things: harmony, disharmony, repair. Those three things.
Because it's the maintenance. It's the maintenance.
You have to come back. Harmony. If you land on disharmony, harmony, disharmony, repair. Harmony, disharmony. If you stop at disharmony, you can't get to harmony and you can't get to repair. But you land on disharmony.
So then the next question is, how important and how effective is sexual communication?
It's still a part of communication, I would say, because you go ahead.
I know it's a part of it. How important? We're talking about 100%.
It's very important.
Okay, very important. This is a woman.
From a woman's perspective.
Okay,
from a woman's perspective, right now. Okay, hold on. Let me break it down. Let's get real. I can't. I'm putting my perspective. I'm representing all women right now. All right, just to let y'all know. Okay, I can't.
Your camera's gone, by the way. Oh, there we go.
Hold on. Okay, I can't effectively sexually communicate to my partner if I don't do it with myself. And I'm not saying, let me clarify, if I'm not in tune with myself sexually, how can I tell them how far I'm willing to go with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't know.
Can I clear that up very quickly, just in case people are thinking something that I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
What you're, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is communication, right? I think what you're saying is you have to know what clicks with you in order for that other person to come into your space in the relationship / marriage. Okay, cool, we got that. Because I don't want people thinking.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I need to know for myself what it is and how, I guess, fluid I am or I'm willing to be. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Then I can communicate that to my partner. Now, if that happens with my partner, of course, y'all talk it out. Y'all do what do what you gotta do. Like, if y'all want to try something different, try something different. If y'all want to, hey, we ain't never tried this before, you want to be the first, then we can be the first, and then we first, and that's something else you have in common, then do that. But don't you can't automatically expect somebody to know and understand where you're at sexually if you don't understand yourself.
So here it is. How come in life there are so many men and women that are like, yo, I can't teach them that? Because you remember we talked about the baseline of learning anything is the remedial process. That is the biggest issue. We cannot get to effective communication when people are just giving up. That was not it the first time, never mind. When people don't even know themselves sexually and can't even
Yeah.
articulate what's going on with them. Like, you're smart, Mo. I gotta know what's going on with me first before I try to translate how I feel sexually
Right.
to
Like
my man.
I can't
That's
because
you.
then
The
because then I
general woman,
right. Go
the
ahead.
general woman do not function like that. It's just
No.
based off of social media, based off of porn, based off of whatever type of debauchery they've
I
experienced or
think,
whatever. Or go ahead, Nathan.
yeah. I don't think they're dating with purpose, bro, because
That's what it is. Yeah.
someone doesn't just give up like that. Now,
Mm.
and I want to keep it PG, but remember that conversation the other day, right? 3 year
Oh,
relationship, 3 year
yeah,
relationship, right?
yeah.
And
Ooh.
she wanted to end it over. Mo, it was very, the sexual experience that she wanted was very vile. I'm just going to say that,
Okay.
It was
right?
very, very Sahara, very, very desert-like.
And it was
Okay.
going for 3 years, the marriage, and she quit it because didn't he couldn't visualize himself doing that. Just one sexual act. He couldn't and it was very vile. He couldn't understand. She couldn't understand something
The
like that. So
groceries, Mo. The groceries. She wanted the groceries ate.
so
Okay.
so she killed it off. Now in my mind, I'm thinking all the stuff that we just read out was not in play. The only thing that she was doing was thinking about herself. She didn't think about being open necessarily, paying attention, um, listening to understand, not counter reacting,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even when we were talking on the platform, she was trying to counter react what we were saying. We were trying to say, from a man's point of view, doing certain things like that can really put us in a weird position and all this type of stuff. We went into the health reasons for it, which she didn't want to hear. Which people you have to consider when you're in a lifetime relationship, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do.
I feel
Wow.
like for her, if she, first of all, why she let it go on for 3 years if she was unhappy like that? Um,
I just want to
He
say
asked the same thing.
she actually was, until she had a craving or an idea. And this is another thing about relationships,
okay.
right? Don't let something on the outside come in and interfere with your relationship,
Yeah,
because
because I
that can be
definitely
a
feel like
dangerous thing
I
too.
definitely feel like that's what happened because if you were with this person for 3 years and there was no complaints, and then all of a sudden it's like you got to look at it from his perspective, or even from like regardless of if it was a man, a woman, whatever, your partner's perspective. This is something new, and this is a shocker because you never. I'm shook. You never told me that, and we've been
You
together
didn't
three
expect this
years.
for 3 years. So who have
Like
you been
that's
talking to,
something
or
you
what have
should
you been
tell in the
seeing?
talking stage. To be honest with you, like if you're,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, that's something that should be communicated way back before we went 3 years later. Like even if it was brand new, and honestly, it's definitely not brand new because let's be honest, they've been doing that since for a while now. So like it's nothing new. Oh, hold on, quick. I got this echo. Okay, I feel like it should be it wasn't communicated right. Sometimes you gotta your approach has to be where you go. Oh, your approach has to be different on different topics.
Mm,
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't necessarily jump on in and then comp attitude when they don't receive it the way you feel like they should have received it. And I
yeah.
feel like it was a lot of things that was going on, and maybe she was just a stubborn one where she was just like, I want what I want, and I'm gonna go get what I want.
Yeah. I don't know where, apologies, there's some technical stuff going on with Aaron there. He
Okay.
should be coming back. But no, yeah, good point. This is really deep. Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
to the
So
point, can I say something else as well? Okay,
mm,
so to my point where I'm saying you should know yourself. You should know yourself sexually, right? You should know what you want. You should know how you want exactly whatever it is. You should know yourself and how far you're willing to go with people, right?
mm,
That may be with one person, or that may be where you're in a situation where I don't want to be in a relationship and I'm really just exploring because not every person you encounter and that you meet and that you hook up with is going to go and have the same fluidity as the next person or as a person before. Not every person is going to do that. But I always feel like it's important as men or even as women to take some time besides just jumping into relationships. Just take some time, and if you don't have that commitment with God and you're not celebrating anything like that, that if that doesn't fade you, then to take that time and to make that a priority, and that will be your purpose of dating instead of just dating free handedly and be like whatever happens happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, date for a purpose. Your purpose, it could be for marriage, it could be for longevity, it could be for children, it could be for all of that. But if you're not at that point, then you really need to realize what you're dating for. And if you are sexually active with these different partners, be
Can't hear me.
completely 100%
I can't hear
safe.
you. I can't hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
Hold
I
on,
can
let me try. Hold on.
try again. Yeah, I don't know why you can't hear me.
okay.
And that, yeah, I mean, yeah, knowing yourself is very important. What I've said before is, can you hear us now, Aaron?
Okay, I can hear y'all. Okay.
You good?
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Right.
Carry on,
What
Mo. I
what
know you
what
was dropping gems.
what I've said is, write a dating resume if you like a dating resume. Remember we were talking about that, Aaron? Like like a CV when you go for a job.
I don't
He
think you
can't
can
hear.
hear us.
Why can't he hear me? Okay,
Bro,
it's something to do with his audio.
Huh.
But yeah,
Why can't I hear y'all?
hang on a second. Let me. Can you hear me now, bro?
Mm,
No, that's on his end.
what? Oh, what's happening to my phone?
Okay,
Oh,
right.
all right.
So, because people may be thinking as well, right? Well, I don't know, especially for us Christian people, it can be very difficult to even fathom that because
Mm-hmm.
even in the figs, and this is still on the topic of communication, but even in the dating scene, you still need to what's the word? You still need to communicate with the person that you're dating, courting, what you may or may not like. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? What you can see yourself doing.
Yeah.
But we won't get too deep into that 'cause I want to keep it PG.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, can you
Bro.
You still can hear us?
still can't hear, bro? Wow, that is something. Hang on. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Tell him to come out and come back in. But yeah. How do you feel this topic has gone today? I mean, this discussion about this.
I think it's
About
gone.
do you think we've covered a lot?
Yes, I definitely think we covered a lot. I definitely think that whoever tunes in, I mean, you're gonna have to sit down, drink some coffee, drink some tea, really tune in, and really take what you can from it because we've covered a lot. And I like how it was from one topic to the next topic. We're going into the next topic without it being so
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like boom, boom, boom. It was more like a conversation piece. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's what it needs to be. In order for people to comprehend and to understand, sometimes you need to hear a conversation of it and be like, you know what, I was trying to say that for a while and I just can't understand. And sometimes it's a different perspective for sure.
Right. Something that I have, um, something that's helped me in my relationship, my marriage, is learning how to say sorry. I really mean it.
Hmm.
You know. Um, Now that within the midst of I'm sorry, and in that sentence may come with I'm trying or I am. Um, what's up, Aaron? Can you hear us?
Yeah,
You
yeah, I'm
good?
back. I'm back. Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear you.
good, 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 good.
Okay, let's
So
see if it
what?
lasts longer than 5 seconds now.
Right. In lieu of the previous conversation, that really sucks that you said it like that. That really sucks. That really sucks.
So, um, what was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying?
See, he done came in and messed it up. No,
No, because you wouldn't have said it like that, Mo. If you wouldn't have said it like that, Mo. If you wouldn't have said it like
Oh,
that.
remember.
Okay.
What's helped me is saying in my marriage, saying sorry and really mean it.
yes.
Yeah, and really doing and really and what yeah, that's what I said. Within that sentence of you saying sorry and all that stuff, may expect again harmony, disharmony, and repair. Expect though for mistakes still to happen after that. Just because
Yes.
somebody says, I'm sorry, I'll try better to do this. Don't bec- you see, and I'm really talking to people who are dating with purpose because remember, you want to spend your life with this person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to kind of fall short on patience.
Mm-hmm.
I know it happens, but even this, even having a conversation, for example, I said, you know what, this is very difficult. You know what, sometimes I feel like I'm losing my patience with you. You can say that in a nice kind of way that they don't take it in a harsh
Yeah.
way. Again, be careful of your approach and your
Mm-hmm.
tone. Tone is so important. Tone in communication
Yeah.
is so important because that can just throw someone off board. Be mindful of your tone. You just need to shut up and be quiet. When people say that, you kind of have to say that differently. Can you just listen to me for a second? I'm really trying to get my point across, and you keep
Mm-hmm.
talking, and I feel like you're not really saying much. I need to get this out first. This is what's happening. Again, choose your words wisely. But that's what's helped my marriage.
Definitely to
Really,
choose your words wisely because I feel like a lot of people they hang on to your word because sometimes your word is all you have.
yeah.
So
Like,
when you
do you remember
say,
Mo? You said that.
"Yep,"
How that made me feel. Yeah.
mm-hmm. So when you say, you know, I apologize, and you know, I always feel like don't say I apologize and I'll never do it again. Don't say that because, and if you have
Hmm.
said this to the listeners, if you said this in the past, don't say it ever again because what your partner is going to think is it's never going to happen again, and you can't be 100% sure that whatever you did to upset them is going to happen. Is not going to happen again. You can't be 100% sure because at the end of the day, we're all human. We make mistakes, and we may do it where it in a different way where it may not be the exact same words, it may not be the exact same scene, the exact same situation, maybe something different, but it's so similar to what you just experienced. But what they're going to come back is you said you'll never do this again, and it's happening again. So now what? So where are we going to go from here? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Don't say I'm never going to do it again because you can't be 100% sure of that. And if you hear that from your partner, to the listeners, if you hear that from your partner, correct them and be like, let me stop you there. You can't guarantee me that 100% that you will never do this again,
But I
and I can't do that the
appreciate.
same way.
Yeah.
But I
Hmm.
appreciate that that's your energy. I appreciate that that's your vibe. I
Right. See, I
appreciate
love
that you're
this.
gonna
I love
try.
this. I love it.
But
See,
you gotta
and this is
just say
this
that
is
you're gonna try to not do it again. Just say you're gonna
and
try.
and this is what and people that are listening. Hopefully, you've made it this far. but,
Right.
but this is the intellect, the communication. That this is what you need to have. You need to really be uh aware on all these points that we've just made. We've made about 8, 9 points. We need, and again, expect mess ups. Don't
Yes.
see. We do. A lot of people do think that relationships are going to be perfect. They're not. I mean, I'm sorry to say it. I mean, we've all heard about some celebrities, Will and Jada, for example. Let's not get too far into it, but relationships are not perfect. When people look at YouTube couples, for example, that don't work out, people are very quick to say, "You need to walk away, not
Mm-hmm.
make it work." we're not used to hearing make it work. We're used to hearing give up or walk away. You can do better than actually saying, you know what, try and make it work. Have you talked about this? Remember, Aaron, we always say on stereo, exhaust all your options before you give up.
Agreed.
Your last option, I would say, if you've done all these points and they're not working, counseling. But sometimes we don't want to hear that. But counseling.
I highly encourage counseling, and not just because I'm a psych major, but I highly encourage counseling in all aspects of your life. I highly encourage. I even went into counseling in college because I felt like it was so much, and I can't confide in my college friends about the college struggle because we both struggling. So there's no help. I highly encourage going to some counseling, a therapy group, something to where you can get it out and the person that you're talking to is not biased. It doesn't have your characteristics, don't really know you like that, don't really, they can't put in, well, you look like this, and you don't put all that into hear what I'm saying, help me with what I'm saying, how can I deal with this, I need a new thought process, I need a new book, I need a new theory, I need a new something, I need a new exercise. What can I do? I need to look outside my circle. And it's okay to look outside your circle. It's okay. I highly encourage counseling. And especially if you're an African American, I highly encourage counseling. If you are Black, if you highly encourage counseling. I do not care if your family is against it. I don't care who is against it. If who's gonna look at you like, oh well, she had to go to counseling, so she crazy. Don't matter about all that. Get the help you need mentally for yourself. Because all of this that we're talking about, effective communication, cannot work if you're not working on yourself. It just cannot happen. So get the help you need for yourself. I can't stress it enough.
Even before you get into a relationship, if you can see things about yourself that would not be fit for a relationship, get that sorted too.
Get it straight out for sure.
You know, and if you decide to get that fixed and still look, and you're in a relationship, then be honest about your counseling. Be open about everything. Be transparent. But I think, guys, we have honestly talked about everything. I don't want to exhaust it out too much, but
Oh, we finna say goodbye.
no, I'm gonna. Yeah, I
Oh.
know. I'm going to end it here by stop record, but we're gonna keep chatting because I want to say a couple of stuff.
Okay.
But has anybody got any last words, or do you think we've kind of?
All right. So look. You know what I'm saying? I really want to say big shout out to the squad. Nathan. A lot of people didn't think we was gonna be here. A lot of people thought, we was just playing, we was just lollygagging. Well, guess what? We out here. Watch the nose. We out here. We doing God's work. So,
You should be in the film, man. I'm telling you.
hey, man, we working. I put a couple recommendations in, but go ahead, y'all. Y'all got any last words? That's what I have to say.
Mo, you have any last words?
My last words would just be take heed to everything that we're saying. I can speak for myself, but I'm sure that they're gonna agree with me. We have all been through a situation where we all needed some effective communication. So we're not just speaking out of a textbook. Like, this is real life for real people. We deal with real stuff too. So really just listen. I'm happy to be here. This is my very first podcast, FYI. So
You did really
Wow.
well.
No, I'm just kidding.
You did.
But yeah, I'm glad to do this. I do this to my friends all the time, so it's only a matter of time before I actually speak to a general audience.
No, you did. You did well, and it was nice having you. It was nice having you. The last thing that I would say is harmony, disharmony, repair. Those cycles have to happen. They will happen. Make it work with these points that we gave. But guys, we will see you in the next video.
Bye bye.